songwriters make money? I'm not talking about if you're the performing artist. I'm just talking about how, as a songwriter, you get paid. So you may be a songwriter who doesn't perform, or you may be a performing songwriter, but the way you collect those songwriting royalties will be the same. First of all, you have to know that there are different kinds of royalties. The two basic ones are mechanical and airplay or performance royalties. Mechanical royalties are any time a copy of your song sells in a physical form or a digital form, such as a download or someone buys the CD. That's mechanical royalties. And the rate for mechanical royalties is set by law. The standard rate is 9.1 cents per copy. So if you write a song and it sells 1 million copies, it generates $91,000 worth of royalties. That gets divided up, but I'll get into that later. The other type of royalties is airplay or performance royalties, and that's the money you collect because your songs have been played on the radio, on TV, in a concert hall, a nightclub, even athletic clubs and jukeboxes have to pay royalties for using songs, and the royalties go to the writers, not to the performers. The airplay money is collected by the performance rights organization. There are 3 of them, ASCAP, CSAC, and BMI. And to find out more about what they do, check out the Performing Rights Organization video on this channel. But you can only sign with one of them, and they charge standard licensing fees to any venue that uses songs by their writers. So basically that's all the venues that use songs: radio stations, TVs, nightclubs, jukebox owners, health clubs. They all have to pay a yearly fee to ASCAP, CSAC, and BMI. And if they don't, and they're using those songs in their venue, they will get sued, and they will lose the suit because it's the law that they have to pay. So these organizations collect the money from the venues, and then they do surveys that determine how often your song is showing up. They each have different ways of doing the accounting, but they figure out how much your song is getting played, and you get paid according to how many performances your song racks up, and they usually pay quarterly with about a 6-month lag. The mechanical royalties are paid by the record labels to a publisher. Now, that brings us into another division you need to understand, which is the difference between the writer's share and the publishing. Like I said, that song that sells 1 million copies is going to generate $91,000 worth of mechanical royalties. By law, that's divided in half. Half is called the writer's share and half is called the publishing. Now, as soon as you finish a song, you own 100% of the song. You own 100% of the writer's share and 100% of the publishing, which together is 100% of the royalties. If you co-write the song, as soon as you're done, you own half the writer's share and half the publishing. If you write it with 2 other people, you own 1/3 of the writer's share and 1/3 of the publishing, and so on and so forth. You can keep your own publishing. You don't have to sign it away to someone else, but you may not have the ability to pitch your song, or you may have a staff writing job, in which case your publisher is going to take the publishing side of the revenue. But that's also negotiable. You can sign away 100% of your publishing to someone, or you can sign away half of your publishing to someone, or 1/10 or 1/3. None of it's decreed by law. It's just whatever works out. Now, since the record labels won't pay directly to the writer, but they will only pay to a publishing company, if you keep your publishing, you have to have your own publishing company. You have to have a business entity that the labels can pay to. But that's as simple as clearing a name and having an address. You just go to your performance rights organization and you make sure that nobody else is using that name. And once it's cleared, you have a publishing company, and so all you have to do is give the label your contact information so they know where to send the money. In addition to the basic mechanical and airplay royalties, there are other types of ways to get paid. One is a work for hire, which is just when someone just flat out pays you for a song and then they own it. You would do that in a case like a corporation wants to do a training film and they want a song that they're going to use for that. You wouldn't want to just sell your song to someone else and lose your ability to make money off of it. But in a one-time use like that, a work for hire can be the best way to go. There's also sync licensing, which is what you get paid by a film or TV show that uses your music in it. Like if your song is on Grey's Anatomy, they will pay you a sync license, which sometimes it's a lot of money, sometimes it's nothing, because what happens is if you get a song on a TV show, they may not give you anything for the sync licensing, but then you'll get the airplay money for it. If it's in a film, it could be a whole lot of money if it's a hit song and they really want that particular song, or if it's an independent film and nobody's ever heard of you, you could just be happy to get the exposure and get nothing for it. And then there's a whole different way of payment that goes with theatrical music. Like if you write songs for a musical, you negotiate to get a percentage of the gross money taken in at the box office, and then that gets paid, divided up between all the writers, like the lyric writer, the music writer. There's no set pattern for it, so again, it's just whatever you can negotiate. So good luck with it. I hope you make lots of money. And now you know how to collect it if you do.